Hey everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Jacob. If you're watching, then you like books too. Guess what? So do I. So I guess we should get started with this. I'm issuing myself a bunch of books that I want to read in June. A challenge or not, these are just all the books that I want to get through in June. Why am I doing this? Well, I've loved reading for a really long time, but the thing is I haven't been able to do it a lot this past year. Either I've gotten tired of it, novels just haven't interested me, or I just haven't had enough time because of school. And a lot of it is because when I finish school or anything that has to do with my projects, I kind of don't want to read. I just want to vegetate and watch something or go and hang out with my friends. But I really want to get back into the habit of reading a bunch of novels again. I do read a bunch of manga and comic books, so I read a lot of those, but it's really the novels that I want to get into. And I do have a manga series that I do want to get through this summer, June, not this summer, but hopefully by the end of this summer it'll be done with. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to issue myself this challenge, is because I really just wanted to read again. And since it's summer break, I really have this time for me to just read because I'm going to have so much free time. So let's get into it. Book 1 has actually already been completed. By the time I'm filming this video, I'd already made a list of books and I had started reading them, and I'm already done with the first one. And the first one is Hand. Thank you, Hand. The first one is The Song of Achilles. Now, I'm going to give a little review of The Song of Achilles at the end of this video. Just some of my thoughts and what I thought of it, and hopefully some of you guys will end up reading it as well. I know that it was really popular on BookTube and Book Talk, I think it's called. I think it is. But yeah, I'll do that at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. The second book, I have started on it, and I'm actually really happy and I'm really excited about this book. It's called Talking to Strangers by Michael Gladwell. This is the first nonfiction book that I've read in a really, really long time. I struggle with reading nonfiction. I'm not a really big fan, but I don't want to say too much about this book just because I'm about halfway into this book. I'm about 170 pages in. So, but this is the second book, Talking to Strangers by Michael Gladwell, and I've already started on it, and I'm almost done. It's the only nonfiction book on here, on this list, and it's really good, and I'm really excited to finish this. For book 3, it is Misery by Stephen King. So the only other Stephen King novel that I've read in its entirety was The Gunslinger, the first book in the Dark Tower series. Now, I really like Stephen King, his movies, and I do like some of his books. I really like The Gunslinger, and I was excited to kind of start the Dark Tower the Dark Tower series, but it was a lot, and I didn't want to dedicate a lot of my time to something that big, and especially because it connected so many of his other books, and I kind of wanted to read those first. So I'm starting with Misery. I'm really excited. I do have Pet Sematary, but I'm going to leave that for a later date. But I'm really excited to get through this one. My dad recommended it to me, so let's see how it goes. Book 4 is Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere. Now, I did start a little bit of this. I'm only about 50 pages in, and it's really great so far. I'm excited to see where this goes. I really like Neil Gaiman. My whole family and I, we all ended up reading American Gods together last summer, and it was a fantastic experience. We all got together, and we'd read as much as we could, at least up to a certain point, and then we'd talk about it, and, just a regular book club, basically, with me and my family. And I really loved his style of writing and his characterization. It's really great, so I'm really excited to see where this goes. I know that it was first what was it? It was first a TV show, and Neil Gaiman talked about it in the preface. The introduction to this. And so I'm excited to watch some of it after reading it, because I know that he had to cut a bunch of the of stuff that he wanted to put in the show, but he ended up putting it in the book. So I'm really excited for really getting sucked into this fantastical world. Book number 5 is Haruki Murakami's A Wild Sheep Chase. Now, I know that this is the third one in a trilogy, but I ended up watching a video from a booktuber that I really like, and I'll definitely put his information in the description because he's fantastic and he does... I just really like watching him talk about these books, but it sounds really, really interesting. I've been wanting to get more into world literature, and I feel like Murakami's work is a great way to get introduced and to really just expand what I know. So yeah, I'm excited to really get through this one. Probably gonna, I don't know what order I'm gonna read all these in, but I really want to get this one done soon. I really want to read this one. And lastly, book number 5. It's not a novel, but it is a manga, and it's really thick. It's Death Note. So I'm a really big manga and anime person, comic books in general, really. And I've never read or seen Death Note, and everybody keeps telling me that I'm not a real fan of manga and anime if I haven't read Death Note, because people start with Death Note. So I'm really excited to see what it's all about. But yeah, it's the all-in-one edition. I might as well get everything, all 12 volumes in one. It's over 2,000 pages. It's gonna be a lot. I know that I know what the gist is about, and I've seen memes, and I feel like I know a lot about it already, but I'm really excited to really get into this and to read the whole thing. I know that this whole stack of books is a lot for just 1 month, but really, if I have no social life and I just stay in bed and read with nothing to do, I mean, what's the problem, right? So yeah, these are the list of books that I want to get done reading by June. I'll make another video about how this whole adventure has gone, and I think I'll pair up some of the books and kind of do a big review for all of them and what I thought about them. I'm really excited for this, to just sit down and read and go on this journey. So, the review of The Song of Achilles. If you haven't read it, carry on at your own risk. This is a spoiler review. So, The Song of Achilles was created by Madeline Miller. A quick synopsis of the story: we follow a boy named Patroclus, and it's his love story with Achilles. This is also a retelling of the Iliad, which is pretty great. I haven't really brushed up on my Greek mythology, even though I love it so much. The basic extent that I know right now is everything that I can remember from Percy Jackson, and once I reread Percy Jackson, I'll definitely go on a craze of everything Greek mythological related. But anyways, going back to this book. I really, really like this book. I've never read a book where the main relationship was a gay couple, so this was a little bit outside of the zone of something that I would normally read, but I absolutely loved it. Patroclus has so much depth, and he has so much characterization as we get to know him throughout the book. He starts off as a boy that's very insecure and doesn't know his place, and a budding relationship that he ends up having with Achilles slowly morphs into this very grounded and loving relationship. It was so well done. I fully believed the love that Patroclus and Achilles had for each other, and that mutual respect that they had for each other. Some of my favorite characters, Patroclus, absolutely loved him. Achilles, he did get on my nerves. There's some parts where I really, really wanted to just tell him, stop what you're doing. Just listen to Patroclus. Stop being so dumb. Don't let your pride get in the way. But he's a Greek hero, and they all have their downfalls, and we knew what we were getting into by the end of it. Some characters that I did not like Thetis. Thetis. I didn't like Achilles' mom, Thetis. She was, I don't know. Like, I guess that's what you'd get when you have a sea nymph goddess who hates I mean, she does have a pretty good reason for hating mortals, honestly, because of what Peleus did. So I mean, I understand that. So I give her that. Yeah, but I didn't really like how she treated Patroclus, so she went down in my books. I also didn't really like Achilles' son. So Madeline Miller and the Iliad, the original story, they did a good job with characterization because they made me really mad. Didn't like them. Other than that, I have to say this book was really great. It was a fun read. It was a page turner. I read this in about 2 days. Yeah, that's really all I can say. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. I'll definitely try to read it at some point in the future again because it was really good. It was a great retelling of a classic story, and especially from a different point of view. Yeah, it was a great read. I highly recommend it for anybody who hasn't read it. I will say, a lot of people say it was really, really sad. I didn't think it was that sad just because I knew it was coming at the end. In the fact that Achilles died and so did Patroclus. So spoiler there. But yeah, that's the only part I say that I didn't really see the hype. It was sad, and I did feel for the characters like Madeline Miller intended. I felt sad and I felt some sorrow there, but it wasn't enough for me to really want to cry about it. But yeah, other than that, it was a pretty great book. It was a good read. I recommend it if you're able to get yourself a copy and just read it. If you guys have any book recommendations, or if you guys have your own thoughts on Song of Achilles, please let me know. I'd love to know what you guys think. If you guys thought of, if there was things that you didn't like or you did like, or if there was something that I missed. I know that the review was very, very brief, and it was just the kind of things that are still at the forefront of my head because I did finish this book a little bit ago. But thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you guys are also planning on doing a little challenge for the rest of June, or you got books that you want to get through, I encourage you guys to do it. So thank you guys so much for sticking around, and have a great day.